Welcome to the Art and Hustle Podcast, a gallery of conversations, a space where you can hear all the amazing stories and life lessons of my guests. I'm your host, LindaLCheung, fashion designer turned multimedia artist, and I want to give you a space to tell your story.
Okay. Welcome to the Art and Hustle Gallery of Conversations. We have Captain Schiavo here again. Welcome with your fabulous shirt there. I love the colors.
Yeah, I have one of my few, this is one of my few bright yellow backgrounds. What they do with the Aloha shirts, they have a different color for the background, and then they do the different flowers. So I guess this is one of the few that I have that have this yellowish background.
Yeah, I like it. I like the background colors on you and your skin.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So like when I was at Syracuse University, I studied surface pattern design. And what did I paint? These kinds of flowers.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. I went for a year and a half, and I basically got sick of it and was like, you know what? I don't think I want to draw flowers and paint flowers with like a 000 brush with like one tiny little hair for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
It didn't seem interesting. Yeah. So today we're going to do like rapid fire questions for me. Are you ready?
As ready as I can be.
I know. They're not that bad. They're kind of fun, you know? Okay. What is your favorite food?
Oh, man. My favorite food. Ooh.
Favorite food.
Wow. I can't, you know what?
Or you can list a couple. If you want to list a couple, you can list a couple.
You know, I like crunchy chicken stuff. I like
like fried chicken?
Fried chicken. I don't have a lot of fried chicken, but I enjoy it a lot, you know. Yeah. And of course, in terms of Italian food, I'll tell you what I like that you probably never have had. They're called in Italian they would call them olivas asculani, which means they're fried olives. They're fried olives.
Oh no, I have never had that. I love olives.
And I'm going to give you this. This is great. What you do is they take these giant green olives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giant, biggest ones you can get.
Yeah.
Then they have pits in them, and then you have to pare them in a curlicue.
Yeah.
Get the pit out, right?
Yeah.
And try not to break the curlicue.
Yeah.
And then you have special stuffings that you put into them. So you put the stuffing into the olive, reshape the olive, right?
What kind of stuffing do you put in it?
Well, that's a great question. There are different ones. The one I like the most actually it's got spinach, locatelli cheese. It's very salty, and of course, they have even a meat. They have all different kinds of meat filling.
Yeah.
But anyway, so and then of course you do once you reshape it, you roll it in flour.
Yeah.
Then you roll it in egg.
Yeah.
Then you roll it in seasoned Italian breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you fry those little puppies up.
Do you make this, or you buy it?
No, we make them.
Oh.
Okay. Oh yeah. But
I love olives, so this sounds amazing.
Oh, well, first of all, I told my friend who owned a bar, I said, if you could pop these out in any great quantity, you'd make a fortune, because when people eat them, first of all, they love them.
Yeah.
Okay? They're fried. What's not that? I mean, everything fried.
Everyone loves anything fried, right?
Absolutely. And then they're salty as hell.
Yeah.
And they're really tasty. The filling is a little salty, and the olives. So that means all they want to do is drink. They're going to want to eat more and more of those, and they're going to drink more and more. You'll make a fortune. Okay?
You'll make a fortune. They're going to love it. They're going to need to drink more because they're going to get thirsty.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite. I have a bunch, but I mean, I
want to know a couple of them, because I love food and I love food porn. So like, feel free to tell me more.
Yeah. I mean, I have there are certain pasta dishes that I make. In fact, I made a dish that people go, what?
Yeah.
It's called fusilli with cauliflower. Fusilli is long curlicued pasta. All right?
Yeah.
And then you boil cauliflower, and then of course you make a sauce. It's really a vegetable sauce. Okay.
Yeah.
That's one. And then there's something that I discovered when I was in Rome way back called Boboloti. And Boboloti it's a really rich pasta dish. Okay, because what they do is it's got sausage in it and everything else, and then you also put cognac in it.
Ooh,
cognac! It's delicious.
Sounds good to me.
It's great. That's great.
Well, that's also the place that's on my bucket list is Rome.
Yeah, Rome is, it's funny. When I first went to Italy way back, oh God, it was in the early 70s.
Yeah.
My favorite city there was Florence.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I remember discovering what they call the golden baptistry doors of Ghiberti on the in the El Duomo or whatever.
Yeah.
And that at the time they were still the original. What they did now is they took the doors off and put in facsimiles, just
Yeah.
like they did with the David statue, the original David. When you go there, it's
Mm-hmm.
this, or it used to be. What do you call it? You know, it's not a fake, but it's the real one is in the museum. It's in the
Mm-hmm.
Uffizi Gallery. So yeah, the Italians, Italy is a special place with special food. I mean, this is one thing that the Italians and the Chinese have in common,
Yeah.
and that is this huge variety of cuisine, of foods. And again, just like China, different regions have different kinds of food, and the Italians, same thing. You go south, it's more tomato sauces. You go north,
Yeah.
it's more cream sauces. You go,
Yeah.
now where you go, there's a regional differences in food, and they're just that's all extraordinary.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
Get me off the food. Ask me another question now. Don't talk about food. I'm
Okay.
gonna want
Okay.
to.
What's your, well, I mean, I love foods. I mean, I still have more. Like, what's your favorite dessert?
I am not a dessert guy.
Oh, no?
No, I have never been a dessert guy.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, it was funny because my wife's family they always had to have dessert.
Yeah.
Um, I will say this: if I'm gonna have a dessert, it's
Yeah.
gonna probably involve.
Be a dessert wine.
Oh no! As a matter of fact, no, they're too sweet. I can't drink them.
Oh, yeah. They're really sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, you're too sweet. No. I'll tell you something. Uh Tartufo. Tartufo is
Mm-hmm.
really ice cream. Okay, chocolate covered ice cream. Like think of a
Oh.
a chocolate bar,
Yeah.
ice cream bar.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's happened? It used to be only you could get them only in either vanilla or chocolate.
Yeah.
Over the last number of years, they now have different flavored ice creams. So one of
Mm-hmm.
my favorite little Italian restaurants locally, uh, she has my favorite flavor ice cream, which is mint chocolate chip.
Yeah.
And now that she gets them, and now she knows whenever I come in, she's had to have them is mint chocolate chip tart tufo.
Oh,
That's probably
interesting.
my favorite
All right.
dessert.
All right. That's good
Is
to
that.
know. What is your favorite hobby?
You see, this is my favorite hobbies. I well, are we calling surfing a hobby? No, I guess it's a sport. Um,
Well,
uh,
it could be, I guess it's both. Could be both, right?
well, to me, I'm not like hobbies like some people like. I don't know.
Something less active,
Uh,
like knitting.
I was just gonna say, to me, knitting would be a hobby. My wife does that.
Like
Uh,
knitting, like stamp
yeah,
collecting.
no, I don't do those things.
No,
I
I
don't.
know. I'm just saying, like those
Yeah, those would be no.
like minor hobbies.
The things I've concerned my life with have been about surfing, horses,
Yeah, yeah. So
fishing,
it's
and
like
boat.
active hobbies, like sport hobbies.
Yeah, they're sports. They're mostly sport things.
Sports. Yeah,
And also, but here's something that I've always railed about as a teacher.
yeah.
Um, I always felt that forget about teaching kids how to play football or basketball, not so much, but they should be teaching in high schools what some people call life sports, like
Yes,
tennis,
yes.
golf,
Hmm.
bowling, things that you can do
With other people,
with other people,
oh,
but not a lot.
during
First of all,
leisure.
when is the last time a bunch of high school guys got 11 guys together from 11 guys and played football?
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
they don't. In other words,
Yeah, yeah, like my friend wanted to get a bunch of people together to play dodgeball. I'm like, yeah, that's probably gonna be hard.
yeah.
Yeah, but
So, but
bowling, you can go play bowling. You can go
yeah,
play
you
like,
could bowl by yourself, or you could bowl with a small
yeah,
team.
or you can go to the
Same thing.
driving range and hit some golf balls.
Right, and of course, and golf and tennis. I'll be quite frank; those are sports that one does in the corporate world, and you can
Yeah,
make
those
and
are good
people,
white sports.
yes, no, but no, Linda, you're absolutely right. You're
They
absolutely right.
they are, unfortunately, right?
Yeah, and I'll tell you where a lot of deals go down in the
Yeah,
corporate
and
world.
drinking and
No,
sports.
well, no, I'll tell you what it is. The golf is one
Yep.
place. On the golf course, certainly.
Yeah.
Tennis court, less so.
Not so
And
much.
in the old days, it was also in men's rooms
And yeah,
where
and
you,
strip clubs.
yeah, you go in and like
Yeah.
let's say they're having a meeting,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden some of the principals of the meeting guys would go in
Yeah.
to take a leak, and they're basically
Oh,
cutting,
in the bathroom.
yeah, they're cutting deals over the urinals.
Yeah.
They're talking about, well,
Yeah,
well,
or people who go outside to smoke.
yeah, I mean,
Right?
so I've had some of those bathroom meetings. Especially when I was
Hmm.
dealing with the condominiums. I was a president of a homeowners association, and dealing with the builders and things like that. You know, we'd go back into the meeting, and
Hmm.
we had made certain resolutions
In the
uh,
bathroom?
in the bathroom, and then we went out and said, okay,
Really?
and then, yeah, it was really kind of funny. I mean, I thought it was hysterical, and of course, when there were women at the meeting, they really resented it because they weren't in the men's room helping to make the deal.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But
See,
yeah, so that's it.
that's funny.
But now that I'm old, that my body says I can't surf anymore. My body
Mhm,
won't let me.
mhm, mhm, mhm.
I can the only thing I could still ride a horse, but to get another horse, I think I told you, my wife's dictionary, horse rhymes with divorce. That's no good.
Mhm, mhm.
And so fishing is the only thing I still do occasionally. I sold my boat a number of years ago,
Oh,
but
you sold it?
yeah, I fish with friends occasionally. Sometimes I'll fish off
What
the
was the
beach.
name of your boat?
Well, it was the model was called it was a Tiara Pursuit model. It was basically it was a fishing that Tiara makes all kinds of boats,
Okay.
big cabin cruisers, things like that. But they
Yeah.
also made fishing models, and this was that. And I used to take that boat. It was 25 feet. I used to take it off because I had put it in extra gas tanks.
Yeah.
I could take that 65, 70 miles offshore to the Hudson Canyon. Yeah, it was great.
Wow. Wow.
And we fished for tuna, shark.
Yeah.
But mostly I stayed inshore. And I was chartering. I chartered with light tackle for things like
Yeah.
fluke, striped bass,
Yeah.
weight fish, things like that.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. What is your favorite color?
I'd have to say probably it's red. My convertible's red. Like I'm looking at the shirt. The shirts that I like the most that I have these big red flowers on them.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, certainly when I drive my convertible, I'm always wearing
Red
flower
something?
shirts. Yeah,
Hmm.
and so if the shirt itself is not red, it's gonna have red flowers
Some
on it.
tints of red on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What is your favorite movie of all time or something you're watching now on TV?
Favorite movies. That's a toughie. I think one of my favorite comedy movies is A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Mm-hmm.
And what's interesting about it is because it's placed in Roman times, and as you know, I taught Greek and Roman drama for decades.
Yeah.
I look at that. I always laugh. I always laugh. And almost anything movie by Mel Brooks, like Young Frankenstein and things
Yeah.
like that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm big on the comedies.
Yeah. Okay. What is the worst food that you don't like to eat?
Oh, that's easy. Liver. Anything with liver.
Did your mom or dad make that?
They did, and it was one of my first big battles at the dinner table when I was a kid.
Wow.
I hated the smell of it. I hated the look of it.
Yeah.
I refused to. I think I took one bite and was ready to barf.
Oh
I'm trying
no.
to think of how old I was. I was probably in single digits. I might have been 8. Of course, they
So
used to.
you were traumatized.
Oh, absolutely. Because parents used to peddle that. Oh, it's really healthy. Gives you lots of iron in your blood. Blah, blah. Forget that. Forget. And
Mhm.
it's funny you mentioned that because last night, what was the special at this country French restaurant?
Liver.
Calves liver. Yes, that was one of. They had 3 specials. That was one of them. Okay, and I went. You got to be kidding. Now my wife loves liver. She didn't order it last night, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I just go and anything with liver. I don't eat liverwurst. She loves
Yeah.
liverwurst.
Yeah,
And
like I'm not a big liver person kind
no,
of thing.
no, not at all.
Or like tripe and intestines. Like I don't like
Oh,
that.
yes,
No.
that's it. Anything involving entrail, kidneys,
Yeah, like I
tripe.
don't. Yeah, I don't like kidneys. I don't
No,
like chicken feet. I
yeah,
don't like. Yeah, like in Chinese
yeah,
dim sum, they always have like tripe, chicken
right.
feet, or livers and stuff. I'm like, no, 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 thank you.
Please don't tell me that. I don't want to, because I like dim sum.
But you would know, you would see it though, right? You would notice that those are.
Well, if there was, I don't think I've ever had dim sum that where I tasted liver.
I don't know if they had do they had the liver, but they had like intestines and tripe.
I never. The good news is I've never tasted them in Chinese
Okay,
food.
okay, maybe it just tasted great and you just didn't notice.
Could be, could be.
Because it's like soul food, you know. Soul food's got all
Well,
of those things too.
you Chinese are damned clever when it comes to food. So that
We
I don't.
are, we can mask the things well and make it taste good with some spices,
Right.
right?
That's right. That for sure. For sure.
Okay. Here, let's see. What's your favorite restaurant?
In fact, actually, one of the ones, in terms of French, the one we went to last night was Le Soir in Blue Point,
Okay.
which means it means en français it translates as the evening, and
The
it's a great
evening.
the
Mm,
evening soir.
hmm.
Like they'll say
Yeah.
at night they say, "Well, bonsoir," which
Yeah.
means
And what is your favorite meal there?
I'll tell you, in terms of their appetizers, I had one last night. There was the frogs legs I
Okay.
had,
Yeah.
and they do escargot. Let me tell you, it is
Oh,
so
I
good.
had the best escargot. Obviously, I haven't had many escargots, but I had a really good one when I was in Paris.
Okay,
I was like,
well,
wow,
that
that
makes
was great.
sense. That makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
never really had many, so I wouldn't know how to
yeah,
compare it.
yeah,
But that
yeah.
one was really good. But like Chinese food has snails too, but it wasn't the same. Like they don't cook it in butter; they cook it with like others, like
Sure,
probably like
sure, sure,
black
sure.
bean sauce or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But
Do you have a favorite? Oh, so go ahead.
no, yeah, yeah, no,
Do you have a
no.
favorite teacher or mentor?
You know, I, that's a good one. Actually, I had some great teachers,
Hmm.
excellent teachers
Hmm.
from the academic intellectual level when
Yeah,
I was at Hollow Hills.
yeah,
But my greatest mentor was
yeah.
oddly, not oddly, but was the high school librarian.
Oh, okay.
Ah, I adored her. I
Which
adored her.
makes sense, right?
Well, yeah, it subsequently it did. I'll tell you why. First of all, she was tall.
Blonde.
First, no, she was not. How shall I say this? No, she was not. Not too. Not. She was not a hot steaming babe. That's for sure. Okay, she was like a lot of librarians. She was bespectacled, and
Okay.
she had those straps that.
Oh, the ones that strap on the glasses.
And this way, if you take your glasses off,
Yeah. I think
and
just shoot me when I wear one of those.
yeah, well, anyway, and I think when I first met her, I was probably in seventh grade. And I was probably 5'2" or 3" at the time,
Yeah.
and I was
What
always
do you
looking
mean?
up to
Aren't
her.
you still 5 foot?
Oh, excuse me. No, I'm 5'6.5". Thank you very much.
That was a joke
I
because
know,
you
and
know what?
I know who
Because if
made.
you know what, that's
I
why.
know because of Trisha too. She said that. But I used to always literally look up to her, physically look up to her.
Hmm.
She was very tall.
Hmm.
She must have been, I'm going to say 5'10" or 11 probably.
Yeah.
And I also thought she was the smartest person in the world. Not
Mm.
smartest woman, but the smartest
Artist
person in the world.
person. Wow, that's a huge compliment from
She,
you.
she, like a lot of librarians, she
Yeah.
knew everything. And if she didn't know it, she knew where to find the answer.
Wow. Yeah.
And
He was Google.
yeah, I'm telling you, this was like she was my go-to person for certain
Yeah.
kinds of things.
Yeah.
Even when I was in the university, I was
Yeah.
at St. John's, and I used to visit her at the
Yeah.
school, at the high school, and I said, "Look, I'm really doing this paper on this thing," and I mean, one of the things she said to me once, I was doing something, I guess for my Greek lit class.
Yeah.
She said to me, "Well, you know what? She's go, the thing that you're looking for, probably you can find in." I think there was the eighth or the 12th edition of the Encyclopedia Britannica. By the way, you're not supposed to use encyclopedias, but she said that particular, whatever that edition was, she goes,
Yeah.
that one was really very special because they had a lot of great Greek scholars writing in that for that area.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, how the hell would she know even what edition
Yeah.
I mean, as opposed
Yeah.
to other musicians. So I never forgot that about her.
Wow.
So, but here's what she did for me, because she knew
Yeah.
I was a big reader. I had been a
Yeah.
big reader in elementary school.
Yeah.
When I used to help her in the library. I was like a library aide in
Yeah.
my free period, like when I had a
Hmm.
study hall or something, all
Hmm.
through school, all through high school. And when new books would come in, I used to love the smell of a brand new book,
Hmm.
and the print and the whole thing. I
Yeah.
had this real physical uh, attachment to these books.
Mm.
And most libraries, they have a special page where they will stamp that page.
Yeah.
Okay? And they'll and the library, whatever library it is, will have that page and stamp every book that comes in with their mark so that
Yeah.
if they'll know it's their book from their library.
Yeah.
And what she would do is she trusted me so much, okay, that she said, okay, Billy, these books came in, and I'd open up the boxes to help her, and I go, oh, can I read this? Oh, can I read that? Sure, can I take this home? Sure, just make sure, don't mess it up and
How
make
old
sure.
were you?
Well, like I said, from the seventh grade all the way through my senior year. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever age I was in the seventh grade, what,
Okay.
14, 12? No, it will be probably 12. I don't know. So anyway, uh, she just trusted me implicitly. And here's what was so cool about her. What she would do is to make sure I was reading these books, she'd ask me questions about them.
Oh,
Like,
really?
yeah. So what did you think about when Nietzsche was talking about the
Oh,
Superman?
this would be something totally you would do.
Yeah, exactly. In other words,
Uh,
how do you know if your students have been reading the books? You'd say ask them something specific that they probably should have read, and they probably should have, you know, probably they would have been maybe startled at. And
yeah.
she would do that to me all the time.
Yeah.
And I remember once. Oh, I'll tell you what one of the great stories. Uh, I guess I must have been a junior in high school, and in comes a brand new book. It was Hitler's Mein Kampf. Okay.
Oh,
Mm,
wow.
yeah. So now remember, this is in high school,
Yeah.
and she put that up on the shelf, and she was going to put that up on the shelves. So what does she do? She gives it. So I said, "Well, look, I want to read it." Now, nowadays, people would be freaked out. Oh, this kid wants to read about Hitler. He's going to be a fascist. He's going to do horrible. She said, "Okay, no problem." So I take the book, and in those days we didn't have book bags, so we, like we carry them, under our
A
arms,
strap or something, or
So yeah, like just you'd have 4 or 5 books and you'd cradle them in your arm.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm walking through the hallway, and one of my English, he was a speech teacher,
Hmm.
and he saw me. You could see it. It was brand spanking new, and I had a pretty bright cover, and it said Mein Kampf. And he goes up to me and he goes, Billy. He goes, uh, "What are you doing with that book?" I said, "Well, the librarian gave it to me so I could read it."
Hmm.
He said, "Well,
Uh-oh.
why do you want to read it?" So I'm thinking, okay, so now I'm getting a third degree, okay,
Yeah.
and I happen to like this teacher, and at that point I was now about probably 5 foot, my present height, right, 5'6" probably, and he was shorter than I was.
Yeah.
And in fact, he had a wife who was like immensely tall and kind of heavy, and
Yeah.
it was such a strange relationship physically.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but I liked them both. I didn't know his wife real well, but I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
So I said to him, probably one of the smarter things I said at that age was, I said, "Well, I want to read it because I only know what other people have said about Hitler, but I want to see what he actually said."
Oh,
Okay.
good answer.
Yeah. So he looked at me like, hmm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And I'm
Good answer.
sure that what he did, I don't know for sure, but I'm sure that he talked to my librarian
Hmm.
mentor
Hmm.
about that whole thing about why I was reading that book.
Yeah.
But again, her name, so here's what happened. What happened was, you know, uh, I visited her once or twice in her. She had a beautiful home in Northport overlooking the harbor and stuff.
Oh,
And
nice.
we lost touch over, like life goes on, and I left the university, and I guess I went to Hawaii. So I lost touch with her, which
Yeah.
to this day I feel I regret that, because for me she was such a treasure. So, but I remember when I went to the public library and they wanted me to go on the board. the then president of the board asked me a couple of questions, about, well,
Why do you want to do this?
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was asked that they had a sudden resignation, and they wanted somebody that they felt would be
Yeah,
a replacement.
yeah,
Uh, and of course, I'm a book guy, and so I
yeah,
said, well, I've been teaching forever, as an English teacher of English. I'm at the university.
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I may have just retired. I was retired from the high school, but I was still at the university.
Okay.
So, and I said, I said, my biggest mentor in high school was the high school librarian, and she kept saying to me, Billy, you should go for a degree in library science. Okay.
Mm.
Now I'm thinking, and I said to her, me, library science?
Yeah, like
I'm
I don't know, I didn't know there was such a thing as library science.
Yes, that's what they take. That was the major, library science. And she said, I said, look, I'm too loud. I'm too loud. I'm too physically, kinetic. I'm
I want to be on the beach surfing.
whatever. I didn't think of myself as being in a musty old, dusty old
Yeah,
library.
yeah,
Right? She said, but Billy, you don't understand, because at the time, just like a lot of teaching, certainly elementary school teaching,
yeah,
uh, so as a male, educated to be a librarian, you could go right up the ladder. She goes, you could end up in the Library of Congress. And I'm thinking, what do I do? Who cares? I mean,
yeah, yeah,
but she was very, very, and subsequently. So now, of course, with the interview, and I mentioned her. I said, well, my biggest mentor in high school was a librarian, and
yeah.
I'm doing this to honor her memory because she wanted to become a librarian. I almost broke down and cried when I told him that because I realized how much I owed her and how much I missed her.
Yeah, I mean, it goes kind of full circle if that was your mentor and then you were
Yeah,
on the board in the
yeah.
library,
And
right?
I to this day, I still honor her memory, and I tell this to the library director all the time.
Yeah,
You know, this was a reason why um, I always appreciated librarians, and I always, you know, and so I loved being around books and stuff like that. So yeah, so she was terrific, absolutely terrific.
hmm.
So
That's
that was a long answer, but she, she uh, it's important that young people have adults in their
we
life
do. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why
that
it's
they can
super
look that they
important to
can look
find out.
yeah, that they really respect and can look up to, and
Yeah,
that's why
exactly.
I'm gratified by a lot of students from Central Islip, not unlike yourself and your sister, who
Hmm.
have given me great grace and not only respect but affection. So it's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I think it's super important because everybody needs that one person that impacts them and makes them think differently, change their perspective, and question them to the point where they'll question what they want to do, or
Yeah, yeah,
appreciate an adult that's actually listening to them and supporting them.
yeah. Well,
You
this
know,
is it. You know.
yeah. Okay, next question. What is a cause that is worth dedicating your life to?
Oh, well, that
Linda's
was one.
podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's good too. Yeah.
Right? I
Well,
think that's beautiful cause.
that's great. Well, I don't disagree. I think clearly doing the podcast we did about
Banning, right?
book banning and censorship. I
Hmm.
mean, the freedom to read what you'd like to read and
Yeah,
speak how you'd like to speak
yeah,
is really, that's to me. See, now the First Amendment, people mistake the First Amendment. The First Amendment says you should be able to be free to speak your mind, your opinions, whatever, and be free from government interference. That
yeah,
involves the government.
yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
so that's how newspapers are allowed to do what they do, right? But free speech, uh, people who are in like private companies, schools, private schools, uh, that's different. In other words, when you speaking freely about anything,
Yeah,
uh, you have to understand that there is a consequence to that.
hmm,
Okay, you can, again, in private, the areas that are not involving the government, you could lose your job. You could get demoted. You could there are certain things that the First Amendment is freedom from government interference in your expressing your opinion. Okay,
Hmm.
but in other areas of life, you could lose friends. I mean, there's consequences to
Yeah.
speaking your mind.
Yeah.
And of course, now we're in a culture right now that they're calling it cancel culture, where
Yeah.
people, yeah, people want to shout you down, or they
Yeah.
want to, fire you, and you lose your job. I mean, I have a problem with that. I really do.
Yeah, completely.
For example, um, we've seen it with a bunch of actors and whatnot. We've seen it with Governor Cuomo. He resigned. Okay, the pressure was on him to resign. And I'm not defending any of these people. But in terms of, well, they maybe did some bad things or inappropriate things. But how about we go back to the notion of you're innocent until proven guilty.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
so what happened was that Cuomo's case was it's one of his most recent whatever. He resigned, and they had all these accusations against him. All right, and by the way, apparently they were true, but the law when they went to prosecute him, they didn't have any laws to fit the accusations that were laid against him. So consequently, they said, okay, uh, he's free to go. He's free to go. He's free to go. And he said, well, gee, I shouldn't have resigned. And I kind of agree with him in that one. Not that I'm a fan of his. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that. I'm
Yeah.
saying I should be innocent until proven guilty.
Hmm.
That's the. But we make people guilty in the press.
Before you
On
find out the
TV. Right.
evidence.
Yeah. To me, that's an outrage.
Yeah.
About that. So there.
Next question.
Yeah.
What's the superpower you would want?
Well, given the fact that I tried to run through a wall once upon a time, I guess I would be able to be a lot stronger,
Yeah. To run. Okay. There you go. Right.
I
What
could,
is the best and worst advice you've ever gotten?
oh God, uh, that's a toughie,
We can come back
That's
to that if you can't think of it.
well, no. I mean, look, I think the best advice I ever got was really I had mentioned before from my father about how to deal with women.
Oh,
Okay,
okay. Okay.
yeah, that was great advice. I mean, I took that to the bank more than once.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think I
uh,
tried to tell my son that, but I think I got it wrong. So I'm like, listen, just listen to the Schiavo podcast.
And then, as far as the worst advice,
Yeah.
um, actually, also the best. I had another best advice. I had another mentor, the mother of some friends of mine, surfer friends of mine. She told me, Billy, don't become a lawyer. You're too nice to be a lawyer. In other words, you have to be.
Oh,
She
okay.
felt that you had to be a really much more of a cutthroat
Yeah.
and a real nasty kind of a
Yeah.
person.
That might change your personality.
Yeah, and I have to say, I probably had I gone into law, I probably would have been wildly unhappy, wildly unhappy.
Yeah.
Uh, but bad advice, I don't know. I've been lucky. I've gotten a lot of really good advice,
Yeah.
frankly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, the funny thing is that just popped into my head was that this question was asked to Will Smith, and he got the worst advice. He said the worst advice he ever got was someone had told him, listen, when you go out on a date with a girl and you guys are out having good dinner, just randomly punch another guy. So the woman that you're with feels like you're protected, because you are able to be strong and punch somebody out. And he's like, oh my God, that's like terrible advice. Like,
Yeah, and so what did he do?
I know that's ironic, right? That's kind of ironic. Uh-oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
should they teach in school but don't? Like you said, like etiquette is one of them. What else should they teach that they don't?
Well, again, I mentioned the life sports they should definitely teach. I mean, I can't
Yeah,
like
that's a really good one, life sports.
yeah, because I think going into the gym classes and you're gonna learn skills for
Yeah, you're playing dodgeball, you're
yeah, or you
playing
play, or you
basketball.
now I'll tell you
I
where
mean,
I'll tell you I was lucky going in when I was in high school. They were putting up the new building, the new
yeah.
high school building, and the gym was barely done. Okay, And what they did, they couldn't do things like play basketball. The basketball things weren't up yet, and
Yeah.
so what we did was we did what they should have been doing all the time in a gymnasium is calisthenics. We do push-ups, we do leg lifts,
Oh, yeah.
and truthfully, the students at that time, we were in the best shape that we would ever been in at that point because we
Oh.
were taking care of our bodies in a positive way. Okay, I
Mm.
don't know that your body's being built up and or any muscularity or strength or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
by playing dodgeball,
Yeah.
uh, by
You're
uh,
just trying to be aggressive.
yeah. I thought one of the also best things at Central Islip was they had the high school pool, right?
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of kids that was a great thing to teach kids how to swim.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of young people are don't know how to swim and
Yeah. A
not
lot of
taught.
people don't know how to swim. I mean, like I can do a mean doggy paddle.
Well, I said that to my wife. My wife was talking about, well, I can swim, and I said, honey, what you call swimming, I call drowning. Okay,
Yeah,
because
like mine is a doggy paddle. Like I didn't take swimming, but my sister was on the swim team, so she
right,
knows how to swim.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh,
that's good.
yeah. I mean, what was the worst job you ever had?
Oh,
Oh, I like
oh.
that. I like that. What was the worst job?
Well, I know a job that I could have been my worst job. I didn't take it.
Oh, okay.
A friend of mine brought me into to a factory to work in this factory for the summer. Okay.
Mhm.
First of all, that was out working for the summer because I wanted to surf. Okay.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was at a cardboard box factory. They made
Oh
cardboard boxes,
no, cardboard
and it
box,
was yeah, and they had these big
summertime.
yeah, and they had these big machines. They had these big machines, and it was noisy. It was dangerous. It
Yeah,
was all right. It was dangerous. So the fact of the matter was that I said, Don't do that." So that's the worst job I would have had if I had taken it.
yeah,
And I think I had pretty. I'll tell you one of the most fun jobs I ever had.
yeah. Tell me some fun jobs.
Besides being a surfing instructor, that was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I used to
Because
be
you're doing what you love. You love surfing, and
yeah,
then you get
yeah,
to hang out on the beach.
and I was making some really good money at it and things like that. Okay, because I
Yeah,
got tips and
yeah.
but
You want to
the
bring your dog on camera?
well, no, that's my little Vesta here. Let me see if I can. If she'll let me. This is Vesta.
Yeah, bring her on camera.
Yeah. She's she's a miniature poodle.
Oh, how many dogs do you have? Three?
Two. We have
Two?
two.
Okay.
And her sister's gold, and she's
Oh.
black. This
Mm-hmm.
is Vesta. I named her after the Roman goddess of the home and hearth. Okay,
Mm.
she was the most important goddess for the ancient Romans. They had the Vestal Virgins. You heard of the Vestal Virgins?
No.
Okay, you never heard of the Vestal Virgins?
Even if
Oh my
I
God!
did, I probably would have forgotten, Mr.
Yeah.
Schiavo. You should know by now. Most of my stuff
Well,
has.
and I used to really spend time with on the ancient Greeks and Romans. Anyway, um,
I mean,
and
but one thing I feel like, obviously, I feel like probably it was probably you, is that my vocabulary is very more expansive than normal people. So for an artist to have a good vocabulary, it was probably from you, you know?
oh, well, I hope so. I hope so. I mean, I used to spend a lot of time on vocabulary.
Yeah.
And I used to use them certain words in class, and I used to get it. I used to wait and I knew they wouldn't know the word, but
Yeah.
nobody would raise their hand and say, "What's that word?"
Yeah.
And then I used to say, "Excuse me, you see that word? Did you hear that word I just used? I used the word contumacious. Do you know what contumacious means? How come you didn't ask me?" Or
Well,
am I?
that's what I mean. Like my vocabulary is better than other people's. It's obviously because of you, because you told us all these
And
words.
plus the fact that's another thing too. Given the quality of the books that I was teaching,
Mhm.
if students were actually reading them, which by the way, I knew that
Yeah.
many times they weren't,
Yeah.
that
It would be in there too.
the level of vocabulary
Yeah, that's true.
would
You would
be
have to
much
like
higher.
look up like what does that mean?
So if you were reading like a James Bond novel,
Yeah.
the vocabulary is a lot less dense than if you're
Yeah.
reading,
Yeah.
Crime and Punishment or Anna Karenina or something
Yeah.
like that. So there.
Yeah, I mean, I was reading some of the passages of the prophet to my kids, and they're just looking at me like, "What?" So I think I'm gonna have them. Maybe I'll do like one passage each night and just read it to the kids, so then they'll start
Yeah,
hearing
no,
those words.
yeah, don't push them too fast. You know what I mean? I think that, and also those sections, those are meant to be savored and reflected upon.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would certainly go along with that.
Totally. Totally. Let's see. Let's wrap it up with maybe one or two more. What should parents stop teaching their children? This could be a long answer.
Yeah, really. I have to be honest with you. I just, um, parents can be really intrusive in ways that they don't realize. And I think they should not to m- teach them to make them want to be like them. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah.
I think they're really, uh, I would never, and I said it to my mother, I don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
You don't seem happy. You seem
Yeah.
full
Like
of
she wanted you to be a lawyer.
Yeah, well, but it was, look, I was okay with that until I got
Oh,
older.
okay.
And then I realized, I don't think so.
Okay.
Um, my father was a little different. He was very, like I said, non-judgmental, and he just wanted me to be happy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and how he wanted me to be happy. He wanted to be safe, and he
Yeah.
wanted somebody that he could be proud of.
Hmm.
You know, and he was. He was
Yeah.
proud of him.
Yeah.
And but he was funny. I remember when I had my horse, right?
Hmm.
Uh, there was a time like people are always worried about the economy and stuff, and all of a sudden the price of beef, I forget what year it was, the price of beef went sky high,
Oh.
and also I think there was a shortage.
Yeah.
And every once in a while he would say to me, "How you doing? You still have your horse?" I said, "Yeah." He said,
Uh-oh.
"Next time you come over, why don't you bring him over for dinner?" I'm thinking, that
You're
was the
like,
kind
what?
of you want to, yeah, yeah, you want me to come ride my horse to dinner so you could carve him up and eat him. No, I don't like doing
Oh my God. Oh my God.
that kind of guy. No, so
Yeah,
no, so I
that's
think parents
funny.
parents
He's got a funny sense of humor there.
yeah, he really does. But he really, I should say, he really did. But I think that parents will want their children in some ways to be clones of theirs, and
Yeah.
those kinds of parents are, I think, are a problem for kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I just want my kids to be happy. I try to tell them, I try to teach them the things that your dad has said, like, which is just want you
Yeah.
to be happy, want you to be kind and good people,
Right.
and just do what makes you happy. And I've told them, the funny thing I told them the other day was like, listen, whatever you want to do as a kid, make sure you do it when you're a kid and young and 18, because listen,
Absolutely.
it's going to
Absolutely.
come full circle, and then you're going to be 46. And then you're going to want to do it. You're going to be in your 40s and want to do it. So you better do it when you're
Right.
young and enjoy yourself and be happy.
Well,
It's going to
I
come back
read,
to you.
yes, and I read a lot of the philosophers, ancient and modern,
Mm-hmm.
and literary folk, and they would give great advice, and
Yeah.
I took it to heart, and they would
Yeah.
say, just like you're telling your kids,
Yeah.
do certain things while you're young enough to and are physically able
Yeah.
uh, to do them, and if you can travel, travel,
Yeah.
uh,
Travel now,
develop,
right?
develop certain skills, because it's, as the Amish would say, too soon old, too late smart.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, that wisdom uh, is something that we all should be striving for. I used to tell students that, look, you come in here to get knowledge, but my job here is that to help you get wisdom, and we're going to try to get wisdom together. Because
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm
Yeah.
the wisest person on the planet, but
Yeah.
by reading certain great authors and so on and so forth, we can approach wisdom. We'll get some
Yeah.
knowledge, but we'll approach wisdom.
Yes.
And when you read these people, they're saying, "Here's how I view the world.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion of it, my view of it. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah.
If so, why so? If not, why not?" And that's how we attain some wisdom.
Yeah. Which is why, your podcast playlist is called Wit and Wisdom
See
with
that? Well,
Captain
that's great.
Schiavo,
That's great.
right?
Yeah, great.
All
Yeah.
right. So thank you very much. I appreciate you chatting with me today. And
As
we
always.
will continue to do this some more.
You let me know, and like I said, as a retired guy, I have plenty of time on my hands. I'm always happy to
Me
do
too. I'm retired too. I'm joining the club.
it. Atta girl. Retire early. Retire as soon as you can.
I'm retired. I'm 46. I'm ready to retire. So we'll just continue these podcasts and get to 1,000 subscribers, and we can just continue these, right?
Outstanding. Always
Great.
a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
You too. Stay well then.
Bye-bye.